If you love someone, if you hate someone, those are two sides of the same coin. You are not removing energy from the equation if you hate on Jason Schreier or some other unethical journalist. If you don't like them, ignore them. Mute them, block them, whatever. Just ignore them. That's what removes energy from the equation and removes popularity from them. This is a community-supported legal education channel. Find out how you can support our mission at the links in the description below. The Entertainment Software Alliance had a spreadsheet of about 2,000 journalists and other press-related E3 attendees. It had whatever personal information they provide. These are normal things when you attend a conference like this. You can get a directory of all of the attendees, and nobody publishes those directories online or gives them out to the public or something. It's a perk. It's probably one of the perks from attending a conference like E3. Well, that list was publicly available on their website. And journalists didn't immediately report on it. And then when a YouTuber, non-traditional media journalist or non-established media journalist, Sophia somebody, I forget her last name, when she reported on it, and including giving the ESA notice that she was reporting on it, suddenly journalists like Jason Schreier from Kotaku were characterizing her as having either leaked the information or having contributed to a leak of the information, claimed that the information was entirely safe until her video exposed it. No, it was so long available on the ESA's website that even the Wayback Machine archived it. And now, of course, it's on everywhere, Kiwi Farms and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here is Twitter. It's not a leak. So you can see Jason Schreier says things like, "I'm so sorry to all my friends for the leak." So this is creator Sophia Narwitz. That's what I was working on, was trying to figure out her last name. Yeah, the not a leak. This is so misreported already. I really, you got to look at this stuff and wonder what is going on with someone like Jason Schreier who works for Kotaku. He's a journalist. He calls Sophia Narwitz a journalist and then says that she's irresponsible for being in a rush to report it. What? Who in the world wouldn't report the news in a timely fashion but a journalist? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Basically, the ESA is the Entertainment Software Alliance.
And not the European Space Agency.
Not the European Space Agency or Entertainment Software Association, excuse me. They are an alliance of video game companies, 505, Activision, Namco, Bethesda, Bungie, Capcom, Disney, Epic, EA, Focus, Gearbox, Calypso, Konami, Microsoft, Nintendo, Nvidia, PlayStation, 6 Foot, Riot Games, Square Enix, Sega, Atlas, Take-Two Interactive, Tencent, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers Interactive, Marvelous, Xseed Games, Wizards of the Coast, and a few others. So let's be clear who we're talking about here when we talk about the ESA and being irresponsible. What has happened is the ESA, being an organization that advocates, lobbies on behalf of its members, it collects its members' information. And E3, the expo, the video game expo that was 2 months ago or whatever, E3 is a huge, probably the largest video games conference annually. If you have not seen, that's more or less where where most of your video game announcements come from. PlayStation was absent, was it this year, I think? So, I mean, there's some talk about it not necessarily being the largest forever. These politics always come into it and everything. And who knows how this is going to affect it, was another point. Well, the ESA collects people's information. And you've seen leaks and hacks and things like that. Well, don't be fooled. This was no leak and this was no hack. The ESA put this document on its website, publicly available. someone didn't accidentally, I'm just gonna, save the website. Save as website. Okay, yes. Well, now it's on our website. No, that's not how that works. It's never how that works. Someone would have to go and edit the content host system or content delivery system for the website, would have to edit in an entry for this document. So the document was deliberately put publicly available on the ESA website, containing whichever contact information over 2,000 journalists and other developers and video game-related, press-related attendees at E3 put in their press pass application or kit or whatever. So you had a spreadsheet of everyone's basically direct contact information, something they don't want public, something they want to keep from the public. So I have a website. You can contact me at a certain email address or a certain public address and all that, but I don't publicize my home address, or I don't publicize my home phone number or my personal cell phone number or things like that. Not that I'm too worried about these things, but certainly someone like Jason Schreier or others who, well, you can see it here, somewhat disingenuously report on things. Well, maybe there's some crazy nut job or just some angry people out there who would love to call his personal cell phone. I am not encouraging this. Do not do this. He deserves to be ignored if you don't like what he says, not actively hated on. I don't understand this part too. If you love someone, if you hate someone, those are two sides of the same coin. You are not removing energy from the equation if you hate on Jason Schreier or some other unethical journalist. If you don't like them, ignore them. Mute them, block them, whatever. Just ignore them. That's what removes energy from the equation and removes popularity from them. He wants you to go click on this link here. He wants you to go to his website. That's why he's being outrageous instead of ethical. Anyway, so the ESA published this list to their own website over a month ago, and it's been publicly available for a month, so long that it is available on a number of websites that I can't mention on YouTube, plus the Wayback Machine. And I'm not encouraging you to go find this. Really, I'm not. I haven't downloaded it. I don't care to. It is what it is, but don't make it worse. At least nobody from my audience. But they put this on their own website and basically released or doxed the own members of their own game and media organizations. It was available for at least a month. Sophia Norwitz found it and reported on it only after contacting the ESA and only after receiving no immediate response. I would think that if someone contacted my press organization and said, hey, you've accidentally doxed all of your media members, I would think I would respond to that very quickly. Sophia did not provide links to the information. It was the ESA that provided the links to the information. So I'm not sure why there's any upsetness towards Sophia. It's more like Jason Schreier is upset that the ESA did something, but since he's not allowed to get upset at the ESA, and he is allowed to get upset at Sophia, he does that. Doesn't that sound a little more plausible? If Jason Schreier got upset at the ESA, that would be biting the hand that feeds him. If he gets upset at his own media organization, he'd be guilty of criticizing his own media organizations, the ones that give him stuff to report on. So do you see how easy it is for him to just forget his loyalties, or rather remember where his loyalties and forget his loyalties to us, his readers? So again, that's why I say you should ignore someone like that. I only call out Jason Schreier because I see this time and time again from him, this sort of double standard.
Also, I'm pretty sure she actually waited until it was taken down from the site. So she then showed it after it was taken down already, and that's why he's pointing fingers, because it's like, oh, but people can now do it on archives and Wayback Machines, and you're opening it up for them.
Sophia's not the one that put it on the archives. No. That was the ESA that put it on the internet, and then anything you put on the internet can be archived by law. That's a law. Like, so the ESA knows what it's doing. It knew that it had a website. It knew that it had this privacy information. And then the real big deal here is that there are privacy laws. You have the GDPR in Europe. California has a similar privacy law. Various states have privacy laws. So every single victim of this thing should be contacting a local attorney, because it has to be someone in their state, because it's a privacy law, which is a state law. Sometimes there's questions about whether I can practice copyright law nationally, and the way that I do that is through local counsel in various states. You could do that with privacy law. But I'm also available as a consultant, because copyright law is a federal law. Privacy law is not a federal law. Privacy law is a state law. So you have to look up your state's laws, and you have to look up whether that law actually grants you a right to a claim here, and you have to correlate that against the ESA's privacy policy. Because maybe the ESA's terms of service and privacy policy for their website, or maybe journalists and other media organizations have agreed to some kind of terms of service or contract or something upon submitting their application. You have to compare that. Now, a good colleague of mine, Richard Hoeg, Hoeg Law, already did a, I think, 43-minute analysis on the privacy laws involved here. So I'm going to refer you to him, because if we go further and further and further into the privacy law, it will be a whole other stream. And I'm going to keep this short, and if there's interest, we'll do more or less what Richard Hoeg did and look at the various privacy laws and see what could have been implicated. So the point here is that when you're collecting this sort of private information, you're not allowed to just disclose it. That's what the GDPR and other privacy laws are for. So unless there was an agreement to disclose this to the public, there probably is some kind of privacy claim here. Now, the reason you might not see too many privacy claims is, imagine if you're a small developer. Let's imagine us. Let's think of Lawful Masses and Lawyer Simulator. Let's say that we really, really want to float the Lawful Masses Lawyer Simulator idea to one of these Entertainment Software Association members. Well, when they go and type in Leonard French and Lawful Masses and Lawyer Simulator, and they come back with me, having 7 videos criticizing the gaming, world and especially the ESA or some member, or maybe they find my videos where I was ready to help people sue Bethesda for Fallout 76, they might say, we don't want to do business with you. And they'd have every right to do that. So do you see why Jason Schreier wouldn't say that? Wouldn't call them out on their leak, and instead try to pass blame off on Sophia Narwitz, as if the reporter, whom he called a journalist, had some sort of duty to allow Jason to report on it first, or allow someone else to report on it first before she did. That's just self-serving, self-protectionist selfishness on Jason Schreier's part. But I'm not sure why I'm surprised. I would expect nothing less from him. To phrase it back to Jason Schreier, Void Bearer, why didn't Jason Schreier just keep all that secret so that the video games industry could be protected? Which is basically what he's accused Sophia Narwitz of doing. Why should she be allowed to break a story? If she doesn't break the story, then maybe the video game industry will look better. So, it's only allowed when Jason Schreier gets to break the story, right? That's the hypocrisy of it. That is our show, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney, and in the studio with me here has been Kaylee, and in the virtual studio, Brandon, our community manager as well. Thank you very much to our patreon.com/ljfrench and sponsors.org/law supporters. This channel is only possible because of your financial support. And YouTube, of course, regularly demonetizes our videos, so we really need that support. Thank you very much to our $500 plus supporter for the month of August. This is Joshua Davis's second month supporting. He has asked us to make a video about his TandaPay service, and that we're working on that, and that should be out very shortly here. And thank you to our $50 plus supporters, John Steele, Gavin Barnard, Eevi, Kyle Mudrak, Michael Pearce, Jan Negrey, Blackleaf, Spirit Bear, Daniel Perez, Snorre Wisotzky, NotMike, Joe Tyson, and King Macro. Very nice to see some new names up there. Thank you very much to all of our $50 plus supporters. And thank you very much to the $5 plus supporters who are scrolling on the LED panel behind me. And all of these people will be in the description below. Anyone who supports at $5 or above gets put into the description and the crawl and the panel. It only costs $1 to support us if you would like a little bit of behind-the-scenes access. We're working on giving you more behind-the-scenes access, so we thank you for your support. I'm Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney. I will play some dog video in the edited videos that drop, and we'll see you then. Love you all. Have a good week. Bye.